So this video is going to show you exactly what I would do in the 2025 conditions to start my own supplement brand and what I would do to get it from 0 to 1K per day into the 1 to 10K per day. So we're going to go with a sleep supplement, and essentially where I would start is we want to really give Meta as many different data points, many different diverse ads as possible to start. You don't want to be giving it the same angles or the same style of creatives at the start, because if it works, great, that's good, but you don't know why it worked. And if it doesn't work, you're not taking off as many angles as possible to really get to the second stage as fast as possible. So probably 18 months ago, I wouldn't have recommended Advantage Plus, but the more AI on the ads and the more you get Meta to do it at the start, I think it's an easier way letting Meta do it than finding like interest yourself or getting the retargeting campaigns going. If you've got clear targeting in your creatives and you're really calling out these different angles, these different personas in different formats, the Advantage Plus ideally should find what's the winning angle as quick as possible. And we want to basically get product market fit or meta market fit as quick as possible. So I would usually do it lowest cost, and you want the daily budget to be 3 or 4 times CPA. And like I said before, this is going to get the best shot to get clear data and to test ads that are diverse in angles and formats as possible. So for the sleep supplement, the angles could be Can't Stop Your Brain at 2 a.m. You could go for like the mum angle, who want to sleep through the night. It could be wanting to fall asleep quickly, so it's not doing the insomnia angle. You could go into the ingredients led angle. You could deposition against groggy wake ups. So you want to be looking at all these first 8 or so ads. You could do more. You could start with at least 10 ads and target these different angles and different formats. So you could do UGC, you could do day in the life videos, you could do headline images, and you want to really be conveying these angles in the first 8. So by the time you get to like the 0 to 1K, you should have found some winners that you're putting in the scaling campaign. And what you want to be doing is constantly topping up ones that are getting your target CPA on a consistent level. And once you've done this, you want to be getting the post IDs and putting the winning ads in a scaling campaign. So if you do this and you find some early winners and you're scaling them, that's when you should move up the ranks of spending quite quickly. And the reason we do post IDs, and you should know this if you're running ads, is post IDs is different to just duplicating the ad. If you just duplicate the ad, it'll resort the learnings. You'll not get any of the likes or comments on your ads. And it's essentially giving Meta, it's not giving Meta the chance to just start with the learnings on it already, and it won't scale as quickly. It'll treat it more like a new ad. So that should get you to the 1K. So in this scenario, it could be like the 2 a.m. The 2 a.m. ads working really well. The mother angles working really well. We're getting sales. So we're putting this in the scaling campaign and we're walking the spend up gradually, 20% per day, if we're in the KPIs and the cost per results where we're at. So after this, and this is sort of once we get a clear idea of what concepts and what angles are working, that's when we build out ad sets that are just sort of conveying the same messaging of the winning ads that we've got so far. So if you've got the can't sleep angle, that's when we want to make 4 or 5 variations in one ad set. I would use ABO or CBO for this, ABO probably. And if your original winner was just a UGC testimonial of someone saying that they were constantly waking up at 2 a.m, they couldn't get to sleep for hours, that's when we'll want to making variations. So what first one could be getting a different creator to do the similar script. Second one, we could be using like an expert to explain the science behind your body waking up at 2 a.m. Concept 3 could be like a dashboard of like a Whoop dashboard showing the spike in poor sleep quality of waking up at 2 a.m. So it's using the concepts that are winning and making variations of these. And if you're building out your testing campaigns to really follow the scent of what's winning, that's when you'll ideally get a lot more higher hit rate of your winners, because it's really chasing after the scent of what your audience is resonating in. And if you've got really good quality creatives and you're really looking at your market research, which I've gotten into on other videos, this is a really good flywheel of just compounding the winners as quickly as possible. So once you do find winners, and it could be like variation 1 is winning, variation 2, that's when you want to be duplicating again the post IDs and building out this scaling Advantage Plus campaign as quickly as possible. And you want to do this with all the winning concepts. So this could be, what was another one? Fall asleep in 5 minutes. This could be the mum angle. And again, you should be getting more hit rate to really stack your Advantage Plus scaling campaigns. And if you're doing big cap or cost cap at this, it just teaches I think I would advance. Once you're getting like lots of winners, that's when I would potentially move it to cost cap, because there's no real limit on Meta's spending. If it's finding winners at the target CPA, there's no limit to what it'll spend, which is, if you've got inventory, it's the fastest way of scaling. And if you're following this procedure, there's no reason why not. And you've got really tight kill switches. There's no reason why not. You can really move up these spending thresholds as quickly as possible. So once you're at like the 7, 8K, 9K, 10K per day, and you've got a flywheel where your creative strategist or yourself is having really tight feedback loops of what concepts are winning, how can we get more diverse creatives in these angles, you want to introduce like landing page tests. So it's basically a separate campaign. I would do this as an ABO, and you want to be using the angles that are winning again. So it's not too dissimilar to the creative testing. So if you've got a can't sleep at 2 a.m. angle, you could potentially create can't sleep at 2 a.m. listicle or advertorial, which is essentially like a pre-sell page where it's like sort of like a blog post. You've probably seen them, but it could be like 5 reasons why you can't sleep at 2 a.m. And it basically warms up the audience, and we can get really good scale and ROAS from just doing a bit more education. And what we want to be doing is taking the winners in these angles and putting them in these ad sets. And theoretically, this could really, again, get more scale. We could be increasing the conversion rate, and all of these like changes are going to be getting you through the the spending thresholds. It doesn't just have to be listicles or advertorials. You could be changing your product pages. You could be using a winning headline from one of the angles here. And it's all about moving, like having a methodology of moving through these testing scenarios, getting to the landing pages, and you want to be going heavy on these. As you go up the spending threshold and that you're doing as much creative testing as possible, this is when you're going to be hitting the 9, 10K months, and you can scale all of these ad sets as high as possible, because it's in ABO. There's no limit to where you can scale these, and once you're finding these as well, again, you're going to be duplicating them in the ASC scaling campaigns. So that's basically a real simplified view of how I would set it up. Obviously, pairing this with really good creative strategy, really good market research is going to really help at this point. You can't just be plucking these angles out of thin air. You really want to be looking at your research, your competitor research, looking at where your positioning, which we all go into in our Founders Formula course. So if you want to learn a bit more about this, we do have a Founders Formula course on here. It is here. So if you wanting to learn, this is the back end. But if you want to learn about it, the link will be in the YouTube description. Thank you.